Tonight, AEW gave us some last-minute matches for this Sunday's pay-per-view, and I want to talk about it. Go! We started off the night with something I think we all could have guessed. Ospreay found Mox in the back in like the parking area, and they just were going ham on each other. And then the Death Riders showed up, and it was Ospreay standing on one side, literally all of the Death Riders on the other side, including Shafir. And then a couple of SUVs drove up. And, well, the United Empire is in AEW right now. So Ospreay went back over to Japan, called up some friends, made them pack a bag, and they jumped across the pond. And now they're here, and we got to see some of them in action tonight, and it was awesome. It started off as a big brawl in the back. It ended up spilling out into the ring area. There was just a lot going on, not enough cameras to cover everything. They didn't split screen any of it. It was, oh, here's a little thing that's happening. Boom, there's a little thing that's happening. Boom, there's a little thing that's happening. The weird part was that all of the United Empire were wearing suits, the same suits, just black tie, white undershirt, everybody out on the same suit. And everybody in the Death Riders was just in their clothes, kind of, sort of. So, as my lovely girlfriend said, it looked like waiters fighting cooks over a tip jar. I almost had to pause the show. It was so goddamn funny. There was a big challenge that was dropped by Ospreay for the main event, which got signed pretty quickly. We'll get there. After all that happened, Don Callis' beautiful face popped onto the screen, and he was like, Fletcher is absolutely out. He is injured. He has to vacate the title. Therefore, we are having a gauntlet match, a Dynasty, gauntlet battle royal, I'm assuming, match of some form. It's probably going to be where the two start, and then every so often someone else comes in and the first pinfall victory gets the belt. So that was the whole thing, lasted about 30 seconds. We moved on from there pretty quickly, and we jumped immediately into Darby Allin, Jack Perry, and Bandito versus Takeshita, Andrade, and Davis. And it was a pretty good match. Not going to lie, pretty good match. The big men were doing the big men things. The smaller guys were doing their smaller, high-flying stuff. Darby was just throwing his body around like he does. No shade. Love it. Big fan. But there were some very interesting things that happened. For instance, as soon as the bell rang, Andrade was in the ring, and he looked like he was about to start doing some stuff. And he turned around, and he tagged out, and he walked his ass right back up the entrance ramp and disappeared. That gave Darby, Perry, and Bandito a heavy advantage for a minute. They took out Takeshita and Davis, and then Darby grabbed a microphone, and because Darby and Andrade have a match at Dynasty, he was like, hey, don't run away, don't be a bitch. And he called him a bitch twice, actually, and then Andrade came storming back down, and all the kerfuffle happened. Takeshita grabbed Darby from behind because he was standing on the entrance ramp looking up at Andrade, and he did like a triple rolling, like back roll German suplex, and it was weird to watch, but it was really cool to see. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it. It was very strange to watch, very cool to see. There was a point where Darby got yeeted. In fact, I've got a video of it. Let's just pop that on the screen real quick. There it is. He gets yeeted, and he lands. And I'm pretty sure that is a turnbuckle pad that goes flying when he hits all these chairs over here. But there it is. There's Darby getting yeeted right into the timekeeper section. So that was fantastic. That was very strange, very interesting to watch. But he missed that table by a foot. I don't know if their aim was off or if that was what they were planning for, but he hit those chairs, spilled around, and something went flying into the audience. So that was a whole thing. I don't even know how to describe anything else that happened. There were more photos. Andrade was taking more photos during all of this, which, can we stop? And I know that the person who took the photo with him is one of the artists for AEW. So like, It's obviously starting to turn into like a backstage kind of a thing just for funny ha-has. No. Stop it. Get help. Cool? Cool. At the end of it all, Takeshita, Andrade, and Davis did end up getting the win. And then they just kept on attacking the Don Callis family. They just kept attacking. There was a moment where Callis rolled into the ring after the victory, and I don't know exactly what he was doing, but it looked like he gave Jack Perry a wet willy. That's what I saw. I saw him giving him a wet willy. I don't know if that's what actually happened or if he was going at somebody on commentary said he was going after an eyeball. Did not look like he was going after an eyeball, especially because he stuck his finger in his mouth first and then went in to do something. In my book, that's a wet willy. Just saying, Don Callis, you nasty. Then the Young Bucks came running out to help save, which brought out more Don Callis family, which kept it at a pretty decent stalemate. And then the Rascals popped up, and the Rascals helped out and drove off the Don Callis family. And Saturday, we've actually got Myron Reed versus Okada, so that's going to be a very interesting match. But that was that. That was the whole thing. Not a terrible opening to the show so far. This lasted about the first 45, 50 minutes. And then we got the returning Queen Aminata. Welcome back. 161 days on the IR. Glad to have you. Taking on Willow just for the TBS title. I don't know how she managed to get a shot at the title after just coming back, but I'm not going to poo-poo it. It was a very good match. Aminata doesn't look like she has any ring rust on her, which is really nice. And then we got Hikaru Radley over in the audience, just like hanging out in one of the entryways into the arena with her kendo stick. And it gave me heavy, like I was saying, it gave me heavy Boo Radley vibes. She's just standing there like, and just watching the match from there. So that was weird. Willow got the win. She kept the TBS title. Aminata's back. Aminata might be doing a heel turn. I'm not quite sure. She came out hot and heavy, like she was doing heel stuff, but then at the end of the match, she shook Willow's hand, and that was what happened there. So I don't know if this is going to be some weird little heel turn, or if she was testing something and then just didn't like it and gave up on it halfway through the match. I don't know. Time will tell. Let's see what happens. We followed that up with a package for MJF because of the upcoming match at Dynasty. I mean, it was an MJF package. Showed off his really good stuff, showed off some of his weird stuff. It was a package. Then who decided to come out and say hello? It was Jericho. Spoiler, Jericho came out. He came out to sign his new contract and to basically just say, hey, I'm happy to be back. You guys are awesome. I really believe in this company. I'm going to stick around. I'm home, right? It was just a long-winded version of I'm home. And right as he was about to sign the contract, the demand came out, and Ricochet grabbed a mic and was like, listen, love you, all respect. This place wouldn't be here if you hadn't been here to help kickstart it. But fuck off. Like, you don't need to be here anymore. You're getting up there. Like, it's all about me. It's the rise of Ricochet. Deal with it. To which Jericho said, well, I do have a clause in this new contract that says I can name my opponent at any time I want for Dynasty. And then he had the clipboard and he peeled the AEW like giant sticker off of it, and it had his name written across it. And Ricochet just made the list. So 2016 is back, everybody. Congratulations. We've officially traveled back in time. Let's fix this timeline. So now we're going to have Jericho versus Ricochet at Dynasty. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it. Then we shot backstage, got a Don Callis family promo, basically just saying, like, Takeshita and Okada are going to be in a match as tag partners. We're coming after, we're doing this for Fletcher. We're doing this for Kyle. Kyle. That was the whole thing. Then we got a match that I wasn't really expecting, but I'm not mad at. Tommaso Ciampa came out and he was going up against Mascara Dorada, and they were going for the first slot entry into the upcoming Dynasty Gauntlet match. And it was a fine match. I'm still waiting for Ciampa to do anything psycho killery because the vibes just aren't there. But Ciampa did end up with the victory, so he is entrant number 1 for the Gauntlet match on Sunday. That's going to be exciting. Can't wait. Hopefully he gets the title back because I don't think he got to hold the TNT title long enough after winning it straight up coming into the company. So give it back to him. Let's get this handled. Thank you. Then we jumped backstage again. The Dogs cut a promo saying they're coming after the trios titles, and they had Orange Cassidy and they had Roderick Strong all beaten up, torn shirts on the ground in the back tunnel wherever they were. And that was that. The promos tonight seemed a little bit long for most of them, but it was fine. It was fine. It showed it. They're coming for it, and they're gonna go after it. And I hope they freaking win it because we need more bad guys with gold. Then we shifted to the left, and Tekla got to cut a promo, and she came out hot and heavy and threatened Lexi Nair with taking her to a beautiful dinner and then to the strip club where she will be pulled up onto the stage and have every one of her fingers broken if she mentions Jamie Hayter again, as far as her being a previous title holder. So that was a whole thing. And then she basically just spit obscenities, sort of, at Hayter, saying, like, you're not getting close to this belt again. This match is going to be the closest you get to it. Thanks, have a great day. And that was the entire thing. I've never thought of somebody getting their fingers broken at a strip club, but there it was. Then your boys, Cage and Cope, came out to the ring, cut a promo in the ring, saying, we're not just going to take the titles, we're going to end lives. Except Cage also threw in, hey Dax, hey Cash, just leading up to the pay-per-view, I have already visited your mothers, and by visited, I mean I did your mom's. And then he said, oh, by the way, Stoke, don't worry about it. Your mom's not going to be left out because as soon as we get gold, I'm visiting her. It's so stupid, but I love it. I don't know why I love it. I love it so much. So FTR came out and they were about to start saying some trash when RPG Vice came running out and they attacked Cage and Cope from behind. And then it was just a whole thing where it was 4v2. FTR and RPG Vice got the upper hand. Obviously, they beat the tar out of both men. And then FTR grabbed a chair, and I believe it was Dax, took the chair and put Cage's arm through the chair and laid it out. And Cash jumped off the middle rope, stomped it, and that was that. So now Cage may be injured, quotey fingers, for the pay-per-view. We're just going to have to wait and see. Hopefully he's not, as far as kayfabe goes, but hopefully he's not actually injured either. That would really suck. So that match is going to be super ridiculous because everybody's out for blood. I can't wait. Get ready, everybody. Then Darby Allin was backstage by one of the big roll doors in the very back of the arena. And he cut a promo basically saying, like, oh, everybody thinks I don't care because I throw my body around and I've got a death wish or whatever. But, like, I do care. I care a lot. And I want that title. I have to beat Andrade at all costs. It's going to mean everything to me. And then he stormed off. So he's gunning for Andrade. I hope he wins. I'm not putting a prediction on that one because it's going to be wild. I think FTR are going to end up retaining the titles. Past that, we haven't gotten there yet, so stay with me. Then we came to the final match of the night. It was an 8-man Chaos in Calgary match. And so we had the Death Riders, which were Garcia, Pac, Claudio, and Mox, taking on Ospreay, Newman, Henare, and Akira. I need to look into Akira more. He is a crazy person and jumps off of everything, just kind of like Darby, but also like not so willy-nilly and ragdoll. Hikari, on the other hand, scary. Scary boy. Powerhouse. I had to take notes. I had to write and look at the same time because there was so much going on. And we got 2 commercial breaks during this match. So, one moment. So Ospreay and his boys started in the ring. They came out first. As the Death Riders were coming through the audience, everybody in the ring decided, I want to be out there. And everybody bum rushed out into the audience, and that's where this entire thing began. And it was no hold barred, no DQ. I don't think it was false count anywhere because they did end it in the ring. But at the end of the day, it was ridiculous, and there's a lot here. So let's get to it. First things first, a ladder was introduced by Akira from backstage at the top of the ramp. They used that to take out Claudio, and then Garcia, and then Pac, and then slid it in the ring, and they set it up right against the ropes facing the ramp. And Akira took a Jeff Hardy jump off of it and wiped out most of the field. It was crazy. A little bit later, there was a lot going on. A table was set up in front of the commentary desk, and the stairs were pulled over to stand next to the table. Ospreay and the boys kept trying to suplex people through the table off the stairs, and Claudio kept stopping. That was a whole thing. Hinare had somebody, I think it was Garcia, up in the air and was about to finish the suplex when Claudio pulled him down, got down off the stairs, dropped Garcia, and then Hinare went to do a crossbody, to which Claudio caught him, because it's frickin' Claudio, and he walked from the commentator's desk around to the far side from the hard cam, and then picked him up in a suplex. So Hinare was straight up in the air, and he finished the walk all the way around to the entrance ramp, where there was another table waiting, and then he suplexed him through that table. He walked halfway around the ring, a quarter of it being in suplex position, dropped Hinare into a table. Good Lord. There was another table that was introduced that was put on the far side of the ring from the hard cam that Akira was attempting to. He successfully, quotey fingers, put Garcia through that table. However, the two of them combined were not heavy enough to break the table. Garcia hit the table. Akira rolled back as if it had broken and this whole big thing was supposed to have happened. But Garcia was just on the table. So Akira got up on the ring apron, jumped, and did another splash onto Garcia to push him through the table. And they both just bounced off the table. And the table tipped. No broken table. Sorry. We went back around to where the stairs and the table were in front of the commentary desk. And Claudio was about to suplex somebody else through that table when Hinare stopped him and then ran up the stairs and speared him off the stairs into that table. So 3 tables gone. Well, 2.5 tables gone. Then everybody was kind of collapsed at that point except for Mox and Ospreay. They were getting into it inside the ring. Mox hit Ospreay with 3 paradigm shifts when Newman popped back up, stopped Mox, pulled Ospreay back up, set him in the corner, and then there was a 4th table inside the ring, angled up against the turnbuckles. So Newman put Ospreay in that corner across from the table, and as Mox was getting back to his feet, Ospreay saw him stumbling and ran up and hit a really wicked-looking hidden blade and push Mox through that table in the corner. That's how the match was won. 3 paradigm shifts, nothing. 1 hidden blade into the table, dunzo. That was that. That was the whole thing. It was insane and super fun to watch. That's getting match of the night. I don't care who you are. If you haven't heard of any of these guys from New Japan, go find some video. Go watch the replay from tonight. It was ridiculous. And I loved every second of it. Then we got a promo package for Omega in the same style as we got from MJF earlier in the show, or for MJF earlier in the show. And it was basically just hyping up the deities of Dynasty is what I'm calling it. Because you can't just call it the devil versus the god of professional wrestling. It's deities of Dynasty. Fight me. Moving on, got that package, and then Omega came out to the ring, and he cut a very long promo about how he is the one who is going to end all of this, and he's going to take the belt from Max. And then Max came out and was basically just like, nuh-uh, because the only other time we've ever faced each other, I beat you, so I've got your number. Ha 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 ha. The entire night ended with Kenny basically saying, hey, shake my hand. Shake my hand? You want to shake? Little shake a hand? And MJF, like, juked it, turned around, started to walk off, turned back around, went to swing at Omega. Omega ducked it, and then came up with a knee to the face, knocked MJF to the ground. Omega reached down, pulled the Dynamite Diamond ring off his finger, put it on his own finger, held it up, and was like, I've been studying you, and there's no way you're going to beat me. So he's obviously going to beat him. MJF is keeping that title this entire year. That's happening. No cap. So we're just a few days away from the pay-per-view. We do still have a Collision on Saturday night, which is interesting, but I will be watching. I will be making a video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Do something, one little thing, every day this week to make yourself laugh. That's your homework. I'm not going to call it homework. That's crazy. I am not a teacher. Nowhere near. So have a great week. I'll see you Saturday night, and then I will see you Sunday night after the pay-per-view. I'm going to be awake till midnight. Yay. So have a great week. Peace. Bye-bye.